Improvements for the Superstar Shakeup. Alexis Correo here, back with some more wrestling talk content on the Alexis Correo brand YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any wrestling talk content in the future. And we're gonna talk about the Superstar Shakeup that's gonna be happening. That's gonna be a part of Monday Night Raw. That's gonna be a part of SmackDown on Tuesday nights next week. This Superstar Shakeup that apparently WWE is returning back to being a yearly thing, where I'm not really sure what kind of rules they have in place for this one, because as you know, with WWE, it's always about change, it's always about improving, it's always about catching the audience off guard. So I'm really gonna go out on a limb right now and say that right now it's just gonna be trades. It's just gonna be one superstar from Raw heads over to SmackDown, and then one superstar from SmackDown heads over to Raw. That's gonna be my assumption. I should say that's going to be the assumption I have for this Superstar Shakeup. And in terms of predictions, well, we'll get to that on Monday. I'm going to have a video up on Monday on this channel in terms of who do I think is moving where. But these are just some advice. These are just some ideas I have for the Superstar Shakeup. And, if anyone from the WWE creative team is watching this video, is listening to this video, you can take these ideas. They're free. I will not charge you for that. So, first idea that I would love to do is that I would love to implement into the Superstar Shakeup is give it more of a draft feel. And what do I mean by, giving it more of a draft feel? In terms of instead of just having trades, instead of just having, like I said, one Raw superstar to SmackDown, one SmackDown superstar to Raw, or a few of each brand, just switching brands, I would implement the, instead of, what they did this past week, having the NXT call-ups. They called up a bunch of guys in NXT, from NXT up to the main roster, and I would not have done that. I would have waited until this Monday and this Tuesday night to, have these call-ups and, call them the college picks in the draft or in the Superstar Shakeup. I would implement the fact that every year around this time, or just before the Shakeup, each brand commissioner or each brand general manager has a certain number of picks from NXT, and they do that all throughout the night, and those are the call-ups instead of just having them randomly appear on TV, because now, at least my assumption is that these NXT call-ups are not gonna be traded over to the other brand, because they just debuted on the brand they just debuted on, obviously. So, that's one of the options I would throw out there. Another option is, consider free agency, just like in sports, just like in all the other major sports leagues right here. Consider informing your audience, especially us internet wrestling fans. We love to speculate. We love to get into fantasy booking, into fantasy drafts. We love to get into that. Consider free agency, like, for example, having, Randy Orton currently on SmackDown. His contract is coming up. He's a free agent. He can appear on Raw on Monday. He can appear on Tuesday on SmackDown and negotiate an extension or negotiate a new deal. You can have that with tons of superstars, with tons of tag teams, everyone. You can have that kind of idea. You can make it interesting. You can have the same thing with the Raw and SmackDown commissioners and GMs. You can have them appearing on both shows on each day, just to, scout talent, to try to negotiate with other talent, to try to convince other talent who are free agents or who are about to become free agents to, switch brands. And in the end, I think, this would benefit greatly in the future, because as you know, in November, last year they had Survivor Series. It was Raw versus SmackDown. and assuming that this year in November Survivor Series follows the same format, it's going to be Raw versus SmackDown, I find it a little bit more newsworthy, a little more engaging, I should say, to have a Raw superstar who has been a part of Raw and who has stayed loyal to Raw, who in April or May of that year, declined the contract from the other brand because he's loyal to this brand. Have him be the captain of your team for Survivor Series. That just engages the audience more. That just informs the audience that yes, this rivalry is real and this rivalry means something to us. It means something to the superstars, and it should mean something to you as the audience. So those are just 2 tips that I have for the superstar shakeup, or for what was previously known as the draft. Those are just my tips. Obviously, it's also exciting as it is right now. You just sit down on Monday, watch 3 hours, and expect someone from SmackDown to show up on Raw, and then on Tuesday you sit down, you watch 2 hours of SmackDown, and expect somebody from Raw to show up on SmackDown. It's not boring. It could be exciting if you're really engaged, but you gotta play around with things. You gotta involve the audience and the internet wrestling community more into these kinds of things. But anyway, you know me. That's my opinion. That's me. That's how I feel. So why don't you just go on the comment section below, give out some tips. Maybe you have some other ideas on how to improve the superstar shakeup or the draft, how to improve it, how to change up the scenery in WWE in a better way. Or do you think that the draft or the superstar shakeup is fine? Leave a comment below and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any more wrestling talk content. Follow me on social media, on Facebook at Alexis Correo and on Twitter at _Alexis Correo. That's it for me. Till next time.